So hello guys, uh, you can write your answers in the chat box. Hello everyone, or you can open your cameras. Let's see how many are there. Hello Naman, hello Evia, hello Vishakha. Hello Pragya. So yeah, we'll start the second series of Compose Camp. Yeah. So first of all, I see. First, 1 second. People are still coming. So yeah, I was telling. I see like very less participation in this compose camp in this series of compose camp from previous. If we look at previous series, uh, in both the events we have 60 to 70 students, and in this we have 16, but 20, I think 20 people are there. So uh, I want to know the reason, if something is not working out, you can ask me, or you can tell me भैया ये सही नहीं हो रहा है, ये सही नहीं हो रहा है, ये सही करा दो. पिछली बार 2 events कर रहे थे, अच्छे नहीं लगे, तो भैया ये नहीं हो रहा है, तो you can tell in the chat box if there's something wrong with the events or something wrong with us, because I if there's not like कुछ wrong नहीं है तो participation होना चाहिए, or people just who don't want to learn, so इसमें मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता. We'll start. Okay, so yeah, this is the second series of Compose Camp, and I'll put the link to the RSVP. So make sure you guys RSVP in both the events. So yeah, we have our two pretty speakers, Anupreet and Rahul. So yeah, they'll start the compose with little bit touch in the state
Hello
management,
guys.
and we have, yeah, Rahul is there. Okay, so they'll start with state and management, and then we'll have the UI, and we'll have a lot of these things, and we'll basically build an application in this series. So yeah, let's start. Okay, Anupreet and Rahul, over to you guys.
Sure. Thank you for coming back here to the event guides. We will be talking about the state and every beautiful stuff that it has, like what you have to offer. Like it will be more easier than you think. Like it will just make our app more responsive.
Anupreet, your voice is not audible. Can anyone hear Anupreet?
Is it not?
No.
Yeah, now it is.
Huh?
Yeah, now it is. Now it is.
Okay. Anupreet Singh and Rahul Khatri, my co-facilitator, and we will be talking about state today, and we will have fun. And this will be a hands-on session, so we will be writing code together. If you find anything or any difficulty in writing, uh, uh, make sure to ping me in the meeting so that I can share with you the code so that it won't be a hassle for you. Let's start. Like, if you know about like let's first talk about states, you might first think like solid state, liquid state. Like if you know that, you already know what it is. It says it's a part like what uh thing exists. When I when it's in a liquid state, when it's in a liquid form, when a gaseous form, when it's in a gaseous form. So like that, let's go the now. I hope my screen visible. Can anybody confirm?
Yes, it is visible. Anupreet, it is visible.
So
Is it?
is the font size okay? Like for the video quality, depending on the network.
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. And so we will go ahead with it. We will have the split view open so that we can already preview what our design will look like. First of all, like do by having to go with a new product. And selecting empty compose activity. Like if you have not done that, like just do that so that we can be on the same page. I have
Um,
removed. Yes.
Guys, just don't select empty activity, because just select the empty compose activity. Okay, because it is by default it is selected on
Yes.
empty activity. So just change that to empty compose
Empty
activity.
compose activity. Yeah.
Okay.
So that the compose will be included in your product.
Hmm.
It's I have removed removing it says name as an argument from here, that it will be a simple experience for us to work with. Like just remove it with me. Like on everything that we have done, just remove it with me. Like hope it's going to work. Like so we have a composable that text hello, and which is being rendered in our design view. We will be adding more components so that we can learn how a stage works. Like let's add a text field. Okay, for getting that text, that's what we want. So we will be wanting to have in the text field. Like let's have it. Like let's declare a variable text value.
Guys, it would be great if you could tell us in the chat that if you're following along. Okay.
Yeah, if you see anything red, that's hit Alt and Enter so that it will be imported automatically by Compose. I think that's hit Alt Enter like as I did now, so that like all of the things that we were getting an error with, so that like that is because it is not imported in our product. So we now have a from here on value change we will give a lambda function. A lambda functions are like when you are giving a function as an argument to a variable. That is when there are lambda functions included. Like we are having an argument with
So
it
hello guys.
known as
It's
Amity,
Amity.
and so like
It
when
is
we
by
do it,
default
this will
by
happen.
default.
Like so that when we will be able to gain the value, which will be in the text field. Okay, so I'm going to wrap around what we did in our column so that The layouting can be managed by a column, and which will be beneficial to us for team purposes. Otherwise, everything will be on top of each other, and we don't really want
So column basically stacks everything vertically. Okay, it is just like so that.
that. Yeah. By default, they will be stacked on top of each other, like for attacking every element vertically. We use
And the mutable state of that we have passed in the trailing lambda, as you can see in the remember trailing lambda which we have passed. Like this keeps a track of the UI component. Like if compose detects that there is a change in the UI component, it just the Jetpack just recomposes it so that the changes in the UI component can be displayed on the screen. This is what is mutable state of. Simple.
yes. Uh, Currently, the app is being installed on the device, and that's the moment it will be visible to us. Yeah, it is. So the app, like as we expected, we didn't pass any designing values like padding or anything, so that like for designing purposes, and we are going to make it simple. So it does showing us in hello with the text field. Like if you are not like if you write anything here, you won't be able to edit. But since we have made the oh, it's on the yeah. So a mutable state will have the data for it. Yeah, and that was going with the tape. Like if you are somewhat familiar with the Android world, you might be hearing of the MVVM architecture. Like let's have a discussion on that. So MVVM architecture is like an architecture like that is used to make like functional and reusable apps. Like M means as model, which is the data that we are going to put in, and V means the view. View is like what it sounds like what we are going to display on the screen. And the third part is VM. VM stands for view model. You can see it's a combination of both. It's a combining both the elements, data and the display of it, so that like if there are any configuration change, and by configuration change here I mean if there are any if your device is being rotated, like if you see here, like if I were to rotate the device from this button, so it will re-render the UI, and we can see the like what we wrote here is locked. So like that is why we need the view model here.
Basically what happens is when you rotate your device, all the life cycle methods that are attached, in the previous event I told you guys about the life cycle events, right? On create, on destroy, they are all they are all मतलब सारे रीरन हो जाते हैं दोबारा अगर तुम स्क्रीन रोटेट करते हो तो सारे मेथड्स रीरन होते हैं, तो वो
हाँ,
क्या कहते हैं, बाय डिफॉल्ट लाइफ साइकिल अवेयर नहीं होता है। तो व्यू मॉडल ये इंश्योर करता है कि तुम्हारी एप्लीकेशन लाइफ साइकिल अवेयर हो, कि मतलब अगर रोटेशन होता है डिवाइस में तो जो यूआई पे डेटा रेंडर हो रहा है वो चेंज ना हो। देखो अभी जैसे अनुप्रीत ने जैसे एंड्रॉइड लिखा था, एंड एज सून एज ही रोटेटेड द डिवाइस एंड्रॉइड चला गया, बिकॉज सारे लाइफ साइकिल मेथड्स दोबारा रन हुए। तो इसी चीज को बचाने के लिए व्यू मॉडल होता है बेसिकली। अगर ऐसा तुम लोगों को एक ओवरव्यू लेना हो तो व्यू मॉडल ये करता है। आई होप यू गाइस आर फॉलोइंग अलोंग। चैट में लिखो किस किस को समझ में आ
mm,
रहा है।
yeah, I hope everybody is following around. Like we will be making a view model for this simple app, like so that our UI stuff doesn't get re-rendered and we don't have to write Android again when we rotate the device. Like we want to be lazy enough for because like if you're not lazy, like why will we will put that feature? Like just think of it in this way, and we are gonna do it. Like let's for view models, like what we are going to do with it, not like it's like a programming class. I like hope everybody is having some sort of programming experience with it. Like I will be explaining all the way along, so it's not gonna be a problem. Like we will be inheriting from the view model main class, and
If anyone knows TypeScript, that's the same syntax then.
yes, like for inheriting a class, we use just the caller and then the parent class, which will be the subclass that we are inheriting from this class.
A
Like we are
view model is a class that is provided to us, that is provided to us by Google. Okay, so that is
yes,
provided by this Android framework. Okay, this is an
yes,
inbuilt class. We are just inheriting it. Okay, simple inheritance, single inheritance,
and
simple inheritance.
now yeah, it's okay. So now we are have with the content we had in the waiting composable, we are going like the reactive component. We will be moving to the like but the dragging it to the class of our view model and like its on value also. Yeah. So from there we will be importing like from the in the main we have to import from the view model class that we have declared there in the set content thing. Like after the on create, like we have got the set content. We only have to import it here. Like if we are going to import it anywhere else, it will be it will cost a little trouble to us. View model acts by view model, and we'll be having by view model in here. Yeah. So when we are going to pass it over here, like while you just type it, it gives you what yeah suggestion. so that you can use it and save your value that we had here. Text value, we are going to change it to now view model dot text value. Now it will be surviving our view model change. On value change, we need to pass on a trailing lambda because like for the composables, we do require that like view model dot on on text value change or what we pass over there. Like let's see on text value change. And we are going to pass the argument that was there, like the it. Yeah, so now our app will survive the well, our configuration chain when we do it. Like let's just run it, or let's say rerun it. That will be more apt for design. So it's in now. Yeah, the app is running, and we will be able to change that. Yes. Let's try something like that will do the same. Okay, now guys, we are done with the state and the view model. Now we will be moving forward with the navigation, like how we can navigation and its scaffold. Like that will be much useful for like for the UI itself. Like let's remove everything that we did because we are going to make some new things now. Uh, uh, like the component that I have, reusable component, so that you can remove it or cannot. Like it depends. Like it depends if you want to use the state in your application or it will be done without an state property. Okay, so for making it look prettier, like in the column text, we have written hello. We are going to give it a comma, and we are going to write style. Then we are going to write material scene. Okay, so material theme is the design theme provided by Google. It's a Google's official design language, we can say. Like you can also search it on Google. Like there's a website for it for your reference. Like that is a website. If you're gonna write the name in the Google for like what we are going to do with it. Yeah, that's about it. Okay. So by material theme, we are going to put in another dot and type in typography with the HTML and CSS and basic web development, like knowing what's an H1 tag, like a body or a button. Like these are the default styling like we can provide. So I will be going with an H2 here in the greeting, and we are going to also change the text to greeting as well. Also for the column, we are going to provide some padding so that it looks good. Modifier is equal to modifier with a capital M, and we are going to give here 20 dp. dp is the display point. Like if it gives you an error, just press Alt Enter, and it will import the necessary libraries you need. So now we will be re-rendering the app. Like we will be able to see now greeting in our app, like with proper styling. Like if anybody wants to copy that, like I'm gonna just paste it in the meet chat. So that it works for everyone. If however I do not write very fast, so that it works. Yeah, the build is running.
And don't worry, guys, like who are not following along who are left behind. We will like paste the whole
Post
code
the code on GitHub so that
GitHub, and
everybody can learn.
everybody can refer to that. Okay,
Yeah.
later.
As you can see, like sometimes these builds also take time, like for re-rendering. Like it's a very graphic intensive process. So we will like don't do it much, but when we require it, we have to. Yeah. If you see that that hits reinstall and restart, that sometimes happens when a re-render requires a full change of an app rather than change of some value, some variable value. Yeah, we can see now greetings and thing it being displayed in a nice font with a nice styling. So we were talking about navigation. For navigation, we will be making different components. Like we have created a greetings font. So now what we can do is we can copy this one and paste it and change the greeting to screen one. As you can see, we have changed it to screen one, and we also changed it text to screen one. We are going to again paste it, and now we are going to give this function a name of screen two. What we are doing here is just to demonstrate like how Post works. Like it has been very easy rather than what we used to do later with intents, prior with intents and adult. Like we have made now three composables, greetings, screen one, and screen two. So what we are going to do now is make a composable, make a scaffold. So now it's bottom bar like so that it's require it, that is the elements provided by default. So we can make a scaffold like that. So like So what we are going to do here is replace greeting from the surface and replacing it with a scaffold. Okay. Name. We are going in to the scaffold parenthesis. You the type in top bar, which gives you the. We are going to fill all the arguments for in the pass on a trailing lambda, and inside the trailing lambda, we are going to pass on top bar. It's in the top. We can write different buttons. For this demonstration, we are going to write. Otherwise, you can have anything over there. Like for button, let's have to take that the screen one with the screen greeting screen. You're going to copy that button and paste it over there two times. And in the second button, we are going to do it. We are going to change it to screen one and screen two in the third one. Yeah. So our scaffold is half made. So now we will click on the parenthesis of the top bar to find out where it ends, and we will put the comma, and we will now we have made a top bar, so like but we can also make a bottom bar. So like bottom bar, then a trailing line bar, again right bottom bar with a yeah with a bottom bar, bottom map bar, and we get another trailing line bar. In the bottom app bar, we can write our text like of the bottom number, like let's write our what our bottom bar. Yeah, hope that works fine. So now we have done the basic things, making the composables and making the scaffold ready. Now we are going to give it the functionality so it can actually perform navigation in our app. For that, I will be referring to the navigation with compose guide. I'll also know like how we can use. Yeah, the site is come. So what we are going to do is like here there is implementation given. Let's copy that, and we are going to come back to our app, and we are going to in the Gradle scripts and the build.gradle where there is module written module compose camp session dot app or module dot your app name dot app where there is that. Let's go there and add the dependency and
Uh,
remove the
Yeah, so basically, Gradle is like managing all of our dependencies.
yeah,
People coming from Node.js background might be using npm. So it is just like Android apps use Gradle for dependency management. Like anything that you require from the internet, basically. Oh, if you put it in a simple way, everything that you need from the internet that you don't have on your system, dependencies are like Gradle does that for you. Okay,
yes,
so
yeah. We have added it here, like at the last with the now version that is 2.5.2. So now what we are going to do is say it to sync now, so that it will go ahead and find the dependency we need on the internet and will add it to our project.
And
Yeah, it's done.
guys, don't add this depend this just don't just make sure that you don't add this dependency to the project level gradle file. Add it in the app level gradle file, okay? Because this is a common mistake for like, because I did that.
There is written build.
Yeah, so I'm like just telling you guys, so because I did that mistake, so I don't want you guys to make that mistake. So
Yeah, in the app Cradle file, we have added it will change the changes and it will import the library data. Like as you can see in the bottom here. Yeah, it's done with it now. So we can continue. We are again in the main activity file and referring to the docs again. So what we are going to do is initialize our nav controller. Nav controller is necessary for any navigation to take place. It is always recommended to have it in the set contents so that it could be inherited by other. Like if it's showing you red, just press Alt and Enter at the same time for importing it from its respective library. And when it is imported, you will see that screen. So what we are going to do now is, and is going to the docs. We are going to copy like how like they have written Navot and the Navot controller. We are going to just copy that, and in the scaffolds, where the trailing and the like the empty trailing and the of scaffold begins, we are going to paste that here Navot. And now we are going to change like what we want from here. Like firstly, just import all of the things which are going red. Yeah, composables we need to import.
like
Don't
all of this was done using intents some years back. So like compose like बहुत easy कर देता है, because intents के साथ it was like थोड़ा सा difficult, but क्या कहते हैं, compose के साथ like it is very easy.
yeah. So we have put in the like what that the nav also doing. Like it will map every composable like what we want to a different route parameter we can give here. Like what we want the route to be named as. Like for its screen one, we are just going to call the composable here in the down also, and we are going to change the route to what we want. Like we can have it as a screen one or new screen anything. For simplicity, I'm going to have it as screen one. Also, it's a best practice to use only lowercase in your route for not it in competing with other elements of the map. Okay, so we are going to make more composables, more routes of the composables. Like let's have the greeting composable routes. Like we will change the route to greetings this time. And that's gonna copy and paste it so that we don't have to write every time for yeah. And we are going to put a screen 2 over here. Yeah. As we have done it, like the parameters, there are nav controllers in the nav host. It is written nav controller, and we have passed the nav controller that we initialize above the scaffold. Here, like val nav controller is equal to remember nav controller, like that's code for the internal system, like how the routing is maintained. For the tar destination, we are going to tell it. Like first we will see the greeting screen. So like as you wrote there, we are going to write there. So now let's set the app. We have not put in the button routes for screen one or two. So what we should be seeing is a scaffold with on greeting composer.
So basically
Click
inside
on
nav,
that.
basically inside nav host we have inside that we have only defined we have just defined the routes, basically where to go. This is what we have defined in the nav host, because apps are generally, you guys know, right? Apps are generally multi-screen. So basically uh, mm, nav host introduces like navigation capabilities in your apps.
Exactly. Okay. Collateral build is taking time. We can see the more documentation to understand like what we can do much so we can navigate. So here we can see the syntax like how we can when we are in another composable and we are have when we have to go to another composable, we just have to hurry nav controller but navigate. So let's just wait for it, and then we are going to add more functionality so that we can when we are in the greeting screen, we can go to screen one and screen two respectively.
So Gradle builds usually take time. So like you guys can like Gradle builds take time. So be patient. Okay.
Yeah, it usually comes for reinstalling and restarting the app, so it's not a problem if you're getting it. Yeah, we are seeing what we expected. Like we are having a greeting with in the top bar we have three buttons as greeting, screen one and screen two. In the bottom bar, it's written our button bar. If we click on the button, it will not do anything for now because we have not getting the same. We have not set the route for where this button will take us. So for we will now set the route so that these buttons are functional. For the greetings button, like that is defined here, on click where it was written to do, we are just going to cut it and write nav controller
On
dot
click,
navigate.
on click is just like on click is a lambda function in which we define like what happens when a button is pressed. Okay. So
It's
like we want to navigate. So we are defining what should happen when greeting button is clicked. This is what we're doing. Okay. To put it in a simple way, like this is what is happening.
to take them.
Like we did the navhost stuff, but we didn't we didn't hook it up with our buttons. This is what we are doing. Like we are hooking it up with our buttons. so that when the button is pressed, the nav controller takes us to the desired screen. This is what is happening. I hope you guys are following along. See, we just told nav controller to navigate to greeting screen. Like this is the same name that we have passed in below in the nav host. Like if you guys remember, this is the same name that we have passed. Okay, so this is we're just telling this button like, hey button, when I press you, you just need to take me to this screen. This is what we're doing. This is what we've defined in this on click method. And same is the case for screen 1 button, and same is the case for screen 2 button. Like we have told this button, okay, hey, if I press you, take me to the screen, and nav controller will take us to that desired screen. This is what is happening basically.
Let's not wording for it with the reinstall and restart. Just click on it. It will reinstall the app so that our navigation can be implemented smoothly. Yeah, we can see the app will took less time at the time because like Gradle is very smart and will put everything that could be used further in a very concise in a cache format so that it doesn't have to load it every time. So now if we click on the screen one button, it will put us to the screen one. If we click on the screen two, it will change the screen to screen two, and we have made the navigation work.
I hope you guys understood this,
Yes.
because
For the next, yeah,
yeah, because last time we didn't tell the buttons what to do, but this time we told the buttons that you need to go to the screen. So this is why we can navigate this time. Okay.
exactly. Like, if there are any questions right now, like regarding the talk we have discussed, we can just have a Q&A. Like, if anybody is interested.
And after this Q&A, I can show you another application. It is a simple single screen application. Like I made that application just so that I can like show you guys how basic stuff works in Compose. So like, yeah, if you
Yes.
guys have any questions.
No,
Yeah. I also don't see any. Okay. Is there any other composable or view other than Scaffold to make an app bar in the tab layout? Yes, there could be. Like you can, if you want, you can hardcore a top bar and then a bottom bar, and using a bottom, using a column, like putting the top bar and the top by using weight values and the modifier setting. So yeah, there is a possibility, but scaffold requires so like it's a more standard way and for helping us. Any other question? Hope that answers it.